I remember when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and my GI doctor told me it is incurable. And I actually corrected him. I said, "You mean you haven't found a cure yet? Because you saying that it's incurable means that you have given up and you're not even looking." Well, after I fired him and I started doing my own research, I discovered the root cause, and now I don't have any Crohn's and colitis symptoms. I eat whatever I want. I gained my healthy weight, my healthiest I've ever been, and I've helped many people do this when drugs did nothing, when diets did nothing. And on my website, I have a program that shows you exactly what I did to get better. The first step in fixing your Crohn's is to believe that it is even possible. And another interesting part of this comment is people don't even realize what Crohn's disease is. That is a huge problem in modern medicine. They don't know what Crohn's disease is. I read Dr. Burrell Crohn's, the guy who discovered, Crohn's disease. He did not want to call it Crohn's disease because it was going to create mass confusion. Because if I tell you I have Crohn's disease, you don't know where the inflammation is. You don't know if it's in my colon or if it's in my small intestine or here, this part or that part or this part, it's confusing. Where if I tell you, hey, I have colitis, I have inflammation right in the colon. I was diagnosed with both Crohn's and colitis because I have inflammation I had in my colon and in my small intestine. Dr. Burrell Crohn's wanted to call it regional ileitis. The next problem is, how can you know what Crohn's disease is when you don't know what inflammation is? Inflammation is the body's response to injury. So it's just really dumb to suppress inflammation when inflammation is how your body repairs damaged tissue. What you need to do instead is stop the injury. That's what we really need to do. It's like if your house is on fire and you're like, "Oh, those darn firemen, they're causing all this trouble." No. The fire, it's like, no, you need to catch whatever's starting the fire. Was it the toaster? Was it some weird guy over there who just lights fires for fun? What's causing this injury in our gut? Some people think it's diet or infection. What's causing it is stress, which somehow got linked to our subconscious mind decided to link it to our gut, and it puts our gut in and out of overdrive. This was common knowledge from 1990 to the 1950s, as far as we know, because that's when doctors started writing books. It was common knowledge. For a long time, it was labeled a psychogenic disease where it starts after a traumatic event. For a very long time, up until the 70s, it was common knowledge. And we just conveniently forgot that, in the 70s and the 80s and up until today. It's so straightforward. It's so easy to get better from, if it hasn't progressed to a very advanced stage where people need surgeries and stuff. But if you catch it fast, you catch it before it gets serious, it's a two-phase process. I go over everything in more detail in my program that's on my website. You need to first find the conflict. Well, first you need to believe that it's fixable. Then because otherwise you won't invest energy into doing any of this. Then you need to find the conflict that put your gut into overdrive. You've probably already come to peace with that conflict a little bit, but you're still haunted by it on a subconscious level. You are encountering PTSD triggers. Some might make you emotional, like a PTSD trigger. Like, let's say these headphones are a PTSD trigger. Why? You might not even be you might pick up headphones and be like, "God, these things suck. I hate headphones." And you might not even know why you hate them. You might hate them because somebody tried to strangle you with them or something like that. Or maybe you wore them one day and some cute girl was like, "Oh, your headphones are for dorks." Maybe something like that happened. And you don't consciously remember that happening, but subconsciously you're like, for some reason, I just do not like these. But for a lot of people with Crohn's, they pick up, I've seen the weirdest triggers. For me, it was smelling vegetables because I was forced to eat vegetables and I wanted to get this crap away from me. Hearing garbage bags wrestle because, my parents used to kick me off of video games because, to take out the trash and to help clean up around the house and stuff like that. And I get kicked off my Ninja Turtles and Shredder would punch me in the face and I would lose all of my progress in the game. the first step is like when you get diarrhea, well, find that conflict. Then it's this process of like when you get diarrhea, what did you encounter? What did you encounter? Every time I start listening to music, I get diarrhea. Why? Why is that? Well, it's because, the fight that me and my girlfriend got in, it was over. I wanted to watch, I wanted to listen to Taylor Swift and she wanted to listen to Britney Spears, and we got into a fight and we broke up. So now the psyche, now the subconscious, every time I put on music, I get diarrhea because it subconsciously reminds me of the traumatic event. And you might not even get emotional when you go to put music on. I know this is dumb. It is really stupid. I didn't design us. It's just how the design is. Just realizing that can stop you from getting diarrhea in that instance. And you might have 3 or 4 of these random PTSD triggers running around, giving you diarrhea or causing your symptoms. That is how you fix Crohn's and colitis and these other SIBO, celiac. It's stupid. I agree. It's hard to believe. You would have told me this when I was first diagnosed. I would have told you were nuts. But this is how you get better. And again, I have way more details in my program on my website.